welcome to my second Mystic Movement astrology video, where we are reflecting astrology in motion. This is the astrology of the times, as well as the astrology moving forward into the weeks ahead. Now, you don't need me to tell you that there is a lot going on right now. But I want to break it down in the aspects so we can understand more concretely from this lens, this objective, scientific lens of astrology, how to better cope with what is happening right now, what we're all processing collectively and personally. So the first aspect I want to speak to is Mars in Pisces. Okay, now Mars is also in conjunction with Neptune at this time. So Neptune is also the ruler of Pisces. So we have this very Neptunian energy of dreams, fantasies, visions, ideal future. And that is in conjunction with this Mars energy, which is a very masculine fire energy that is all about our will, our action, our direction, our focus, our ability to get things done and to move forward. So Mars in Pisces is like an arrow shooting through water. So the arrow starts with a certain momentum and clarity, and then it gets slowed down by the context of the environment and the substance that it's traveling in, which is water. Neptune rules the seas. So it can be difficult to really know how to take action at this time. We have 5 planets retrograde, and really it's a very reflective time. So really we're being challenged to have patience, even though this Mars is very triggered right now. We're actually needing to recognize the potential for illusions and fantasies and deception that also comes along with Neptune there in Pisces conjunct this Mars. Secondly, I want to talk about how today we also have our moon in Pisces. So another powerful thing about this energy, another positive way to see it, is that Neptune represents our spirituality and our ability to access higher realms of consciousness. So with Mars there, we can be motivated to look within, to examine our dreams, to receive with clarity messages from a higher divine source. So I invite you to really pay attention to your dreams the next few days. Until Saturday, we have the moon moving into Aries. And this moon is going to conjunct Chiron in Aries. So Chiron in Aries right now is our collective wound. It's our wounded masculine, the wounded warrior. Okay, and we're seeing this reflected in the collective situation right now, in our inability to trust and rely on the authority in our society, right? With our rebelling and our protesting against the police system. So this is definitely an echo of this aspect of Chiron and Aries. On a more personal level, this can also be our wounded child. You know, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's that me first, it's that my pain over your pain, it's that crying out to be recognized, to be heard, to be seen, to be loved. So it's a very, very powerful time, and Chiron spends 7 years in each sign, so this is definitely a long aspect that we've just begun to touch upon. So we'll be feeling that a little bit more acutely this weekend when the moon comes into Chiron and Aries. So while this is all going on, we have our main collective orientation of the chart, which is our north node and our south node. So the north node of the moon is representing where we are all headed, where we all need to focus and grow and expand more as a collective in order to evolve as a society. So the North Node is in Gemini right now, and the Sun in Gemini is moving closer and closer every day to its conjunction with that North Node. Now that's going to be exact on Friday, June 19th. So we're going to be feeling this energy increasing until we reach that conjunction on the 19th. So Gemini stands for information, facts, stories, learning. It's the messenger god, okay? It's that Mercury going to the underworld, receiving the messages and bringing it back to the gods, bringing it back to humanity. So in opposition to this South Node in Sagittarius, which is representing a place where we all need to collectively let go, that dimension of our experience where we're being challenged to grow and to move beyond what we traditionally associated with our truth, our beliefs, our sense of right and wrong. Sagittarius is very philosophical and intuitive, and Sagittarius can also be very dogmatic. It can be clinging to one truth at the expense of the truth of the diverse whole. So Gemini is really this diversity. It is this variety. It is the local community, the thriving metropolis, different perspectives, ideas, interpretations, stories, biographies, cultures, races, ethnicities, everything, you name it. That's Gemini. So we are really being challenged right now to take in more data, to take in more facts, more information, which can be really hard right now, especially when we have Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer is about emotions, feelings, particularly those subjective feelings that we have about our own biographical history. So it's like we're hearing this outcry of people wanting to express. They're being pressured, actually, with the Sun in Gemini approaching the North Node. It's an actual cosmic force that is igniting people, that is inspiring people to open their voice. So Gemini is our hands, our means of communication, of writing, and our voice. Okay, it's an air sign as the wind is moving all around us. So this can be a very windy, stormy time of many different ideas swirling around, many different perspectives, viewpoints, opinions, different analyses of the facts, different ways of presenting the story. Gemini is the storyteller. So really we're being pressured and we're being pushed and we're being called to open, to expand, and to really embody this divine feminine energy that when it's like the masculine, the wounded masculine is like, enough, enough, enough. I don't want to hear more pain. I don't want to hear more feelings. I just want to have a solution. I just want to know the answer. I just want to move forward. Well, we can't move forward right now. We have 5 planets retrograde and we're not done. We're not done hearing all the stories. We're not done processing all the pain. So I think of this analogy of the earth, the divine feminine Gaia, just opening her arms and just listening and just really allowing that Mercury energy to come through and for people to express, and for everyone, for the whole diversity of our global community to just unburden themselves with this past pain, right? Mercury retrograde, it's the past. In Cancer, it's the past emotional pain that is coming up. And so this visual that I have, this metaphor, is this earth energy just receiving the tears and allowing them to soak deep into the soil of our hearts. So I think that will really help us at this time, especially when we're all being triggered. We're all being challenged to not react, okay, but to respond, to not fight against Chiron and Aries, the wounded warrior, the reactive masculine energy, but to respond, to fight for. Okay, Chiron as the wounded healer, yes, it represents our wound, but it also represents our potential to transform, to transcend. This is an opportunity. Just because we're being triggered doesn't mean we have to give in to that stimulus. We have consciousness. This is a time where our consciousness can really grow exponentially. It's these challenging circumstances that give us the opportunity to really go within and to look at ourselves and to see how we can make more room, become more tolerant, and become that change we wish to see in the world. It is also a time where we have to honor our own voice. We have to honor our truth in order to serve the higher truth, right? I think we're all recognizing that nothing good comes out of suppression. Nothing good comes out of denial. And so we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our community, Gemini, to share our unique voice. Because we don't know who we're going to touch with that voice. We don't know who is going to be healed by hearing our story. So I really invite you to take your courage at this time. It's very hard, I know, to be seen in such a volatile, contentious context and environment, but really that's what's being asked of us, and to have compassion for those who are maybe not able to deal with their pain and their judgment and their clinging to their beliefs, to their desire for a quick solution. They're maybe not able to see the bigger picture because it's hard. It's hard to feel the pain of everyone. It's hard to acknowledge everyone when there's one group or one minority or one voice that is just hurting so deeply. And we need to honor that voice. We really, really do. And we need to honor our own voice. And it's not either or. And it's not one is more superior, one is more current. Okay? It's everything, everyone, every voice counts right now. And that empathic, compassionate nature is what's going to transform and heal us and bring us into this next level of awareness and of collaboration. I also want to add, there is the role of the divine masculine as well, stepping up to embrace the wounded feminine. It's not just the wounded masculine that we are feeling at this time. There's Eris, there's other aspects that has our feminine wound being triggered as well, our vulnerability. And so the masculine can be like that rock by the sea that the waves are just crashing upon. And we can just be that rock for each other. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. This is an energetic reality I'm speaking of, this divine masculine energy and presence. It's really presence and stability and groundedness and giving that message that you're not going anywhere, not abandoning our friends, our family, our lovers when something gets hard, but challenging ourselves to open, to hear, to not take it personally, but to look with eyes of understanding, to see their hurt, to see where they're coming from, to cry, standing up, to not judge ourselves for our vulnerability, but to own it, to honor it, to respect it. That's what this divine masculine presence is really about, and it is so powerful. And we can all embody this now. We need it because it's not in our leadership. It's not in our government. It's not in our law enforcement. I've seen this. I've seen it on the news. I've seen it on social media. I've seen men coming up and embracing their vulnerability, and I've seen them supporting others with their vulnerability, and this is just so inspiring, and it just makes me so proud of the progress that we're making and the future we're building right now, in the making. We can't see it yet, but it's coming. Okay, so Jupiter is moving retrograde right now, and Jupiter is the planet that is the ruler of Sagittarius, of our beliefs, of expansion. And exact on June 22nd, it's going to hit Pluto. Now this is in Capricorn. Capricorn represents our structures, okay? It's our foundation in our society. And so we're moving retrograde. We're re-examining those old beliefs, those old structures. We're in this process of revisiting, reinterpreting the past of what we just took for granted, and we're being able to revision the future. Jupiter is also the future. Jupiter is expansion. It's our third eye consciousness. So when it hits Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto is transformation. Pluto is death and rebirth. So we're approaching this time. It's accelerating now. This energy is intensifying. As Jupiter is going to hit Pluto, it's going to be this opportunity. It's happening now, and it's only going to get more intense. It's this opportunity to transform. Okay, so we're transforming our structures, we're transforming our systems at the foundational level, and we're still moving retrograde, so we don't know what the solution is yet. We just know what needs to be dismantled. So we know what we need to let go. That's what we're learning right now. So as open as we can be, as expansive as we can be, the more we can transform, the more we can transmute, the more we can dismantle the illusion in service of the truth. You know, Jupiter retrograde, South Node Sagittarius, this is the old, worn out truths that no longer speak to the reality that we're striving for, that represents us and our humanity. Okay, we're tearing down the monuments of these war heroes that don't represent our values. This is absolutely Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. You know, Pluto is this destructive energy as well, but we have to be able to go through this process of dismantling, of destruction, of death in order to rebirth a new future. So to emphasize this Gemini energy, we are being challenged to include more voices, more stories, more perspectives. Instead of rushing a solution from a place of limited knowledge, we seek to be more inclusive so that we can embrace this opportunity for recovery and integration. Thank you so much for watching, and I have a little poem, a mantra I created to sum up the aspects we're talking about today, and it goes like this. Feeling our collective pain can bring up many fears. We're already standing in the rain, and here come more tears. In order to more fully heal and take the steps to letting go, listen in all the voices to what is real. And when the storm passes, our future will reflect the rainbow. Namaste, everyone. The light in me honors the light in you. Aloha. Take care. Listen to each other. Love each other. Embrace, feel, release, heal.